What's good, y'all? Kyle Loftus here, and today we are doing a music video cinematography breakdown of my latest music video with the artist Woe D for the song entitled Check One. Without further ado, let's dive on in.
Hesitation went down and gave a heat. Baby, we gon' check one, we ain't gotta check two. I see you in the club, yeah, I'm tipsy, is it you? I ain't even gon' approach you the way I'm supposed to. Too gone up the DZ, I'm trying to be off you. I'm too deep into your body, let me caress you. We can live up on the island, let's get the best view. And even though I'm wildin', I can't forget you. So when I think of violence, your name bring me cool.
Alright, y'all, you know the deal, or if you're new to the channel, let me break it down for you. So in these cinematography breakdowns, I'm going to share with you and discuss, my cinematic style, why I made the choices I did, what lenses we use, what cameras, what lighting, what color, and why. To really share and showcase my directing and cinematography styles and tactics, techniques, etc. So in this video here, we used my Ursa Mini Pro G2. We used a Canon 16-35 f2.8 version 3. We also used a Tamron 24-70 f2.8 version 2. And we also used a Canon 100 macro for a few shots. In regards to stabilization, we used a Dana dolly system for some cool dolly ins and outs, as well as a bit of trucking left and right. And we also used a tripod just for some lockdown looks for a bit of it. The rest was shot handheld, again using my Ursa Mini Pro G2. And then lastly, talking about lighting, we used my Aperture 300D for some shots, but really the main lighting source for this project was an Astera kit. So my good buddy Brian Bishop, or Bishop the director, based here in Orlando, brought out his Astera kit. I knew for this music video, being it a short song, it's about 2 minutes long, heavily performance driven, I wanted something that's really gonna spruce this video up, give it some more life, vitality, and just interest. And so I knew I wanted to bring out tube lights for this video. If you've watched any of my past videos, it's not a super prominent technique or thing I do with videos, so it was fun for me to try something new and different. And so we implemented these Astera tube lights, and so these really were the main sources that lit our scene. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the different scene looks that we had. So we did a scene look with just Woe himself, kind of in this dope camo fit. And so we had the camera locked on a Dana dolly, and we did some push-ins and outs, and then we did some handheld looks, but essentially, we set these Asteras up. We had 2 at some Rembrandt 45s, and then the rest lined up in the back for this look. And so, we kind of balanced between blue, red, and white, and so those are kind of the main color schemes of what he was wearing for his clothes, and the common color schemes throughout this video. So you're gonna see a lot of blue, white, red, and purple. It's the main themes. There's a splash of green and orange in there, but that's really just from one look, but we'll get to that. So for this look here, again, guys, we had the Asteras there, and we just did some customization with the settings. So we had different colors pulsating. So we have not only these red and blue colors, but they're pulsating and they're moving at different times. So again, it just makes the light more dynamic and interesting because it's constantly changing and moving. It's not just this static light source that just sits there. We had Woe and the females behind them. This, we wanted to make it a little bit more romantic and dreamy, and so that's why you're seeing a lot more of this pink and purple playing out in this scene. So again, literally the exact same lighting setup. The only thing is we changed the colors on the Asteras again, so we're using pulse mode. So literally all we did is we just changed the Astera settings, and we put a more of a priority on having reds and purples and a dash of blue in there as well for that look and setup. So the next thing we used, kind of this like luxurious / vintage armchair. It had Woe sitting in that, and it had a orangish hue to it, and so I wanted to complement and build off of that, and so we changed the color scheme up again. And so you're gonna see a lot with the lights for this setting look. We had greens, oranges, and blues. So again, complementary to the other colors we're using, the blues, the purples, and the reds, but again, kind of adding a dash of something different and just to change and alter up the video a bit more. And so this scene look here, again, he's sitting on the chair. We've got some tube lights behind him, and then we've got some, again, on the sides and those in the top for that nice Rembrandt light look. And again, these are all on different settings and modes. So some we have constant and others we have pulsating, just again, so we're getting that different set of colors coming into the scene. We added in some haze, some smoke, and we wanted to make that apparent haze and smoke. You know, I wanted it to kind of feel almost like he's, again, kind of like smoking and just going through his thoughts as he's sitting in this chair at the studio. So after we did Woe by himself, the group scene look, and Woe sitting on the chair with the girls, we knew we wanted to get some isolated looks. So next we set up for an isolated look with Woe. This was just gonna be a really cool master shot that we could use for him. This is gonna be a little less energy involved, a little more static, and so we literally wanted this to just be a dope silhouette type look. So again, we have him standing at a side profile. We set some tube lights up, again, facing the wall behind, so they're sitting behind him and facing the wall, so they're lighting the wall. We had those set to purple, so we're getting this nice kind of purple pinkish hue in the back. Then we have some blasting behind him for some strong backlight so we can get this silhouette effect. And then we also use some tube lights on top, and those the ones on top are blue. We can get that nice blue tint and hairlight look on the top there. And again, we just kind of had the lights flashing for some cool effect and energy for this look right here. And then for the isolated looks with the females, very, very similar. We had the lights flashing white, daylight balance. We had the lights behind them lighting up the back wall, and then we had lights behind them giving them some backlight. The only difference for this is, you know, it was a little less aggressive in regards to the settings, so we slowed down the flashing a bit. And additionally, you know, this is isolated shots for the talent, so this is all about highlighting their confidence, charisma, sexiness, suave, all that goodness, right? So it's about highlighting them as individuals in these moments to flash and splice in the video, and so we did exactly that. Now, the last look that we did at the studio, just because we simply had, you know, about 15-20 minutes extra time, we literally just set all those stairs, kind of like that first look. So we had 4 to 6 set up in the back, I believe 4 in the back, 2 on the sides, and then again 2 that sat on those C-stands in that Rembrandt Light 45 look, and literally those sat there all day. And we literally just put all of those on daylight balance flash and just had it going crazy. So this was all about the energy. This is about Woe just going in, going crazy, having as much fun as possible, so we can really throw that in towards the latter half of the video to again spice it up, add something different, and really, really reinforce that energy and tenacity to bring the video home. Now, that's something you should really always be thinking about, you know, when you're developing these concepts and these videos. You know, it's not just capturing a bunch of randomness and cool content, but having a process into the flow to the video, right? Like, we don't want all these great things to happen in the beginning and then it just starts tailing off because you're seeing the same things over and over again, right? Like, you want to have the video have a build up. It wants to build up to something, boom, climax, big moment, something like that, right? So again, you don't want to use and put all your looks in the beginning. You want to save some for the end. Additionally, that kind of leads us to our next kind of setup. So after that, you know, we were supposed to shoot outdoors and get some cool sunset looks. However, the client had flown in from Maryland, and the day he flew in, it was raining all day, so we didn't get to do the sunset looks. We had to scramble and think about doing something last second to change it up. And we were trying to work to find a different studio, but we couldn't find anything that worked. So last minute, we just decided to go to my house. I do have some seamless tear sheets, so we just made essentially a DIY backdrop really quick. And we shot some stuff behind the backdrop. Almost none of it made the screen. Only used a couple looks in front of the backdrop, so I'll briefly talk about it, simply because I don't have any BTS content of this scene look either, because I needed my BTS shooter to help with Hollywooding some of the lights. Hollywooding, if you haven't heard of Hollywood, that's like when you just handhold the light rather than like setting it on a C-stand or something. Anyway, my BTS shooter holding it up at kind of like a 45-degree angle from the back, so giving it a nice hair light. We had side lights sitting there for another green look, and then we had a blue light being held by my good friend Brian Bishop. Moving on from that, the final look, one of my favorite looks we implemented into the scene. I love the continuity and the symmetry of this, having both lamps. If you actually notice, the lamp on the left was a normal lamp, just tungsten, but I actually threw a red gel in there, so it kind of has that similar effect to that funky lamp light on the right hand side. But anyway, so we've got some beautiful symmetry and just alignment with this frame. I love how everything feels well balanced, and again, it's symmetrical. Now, in regards to how we lit and captured this scene, so again, we used the Dana dolly for this scene look and setup, just a simple push in and pull out, and then we did do another take for a cutaway where it's just close-ups, but again, none of those really made the cut. I think he used like 1 or 2 of those shots. So the lighting setup for this scene, so we used all of the Astera tubes. We set 2 behind the couch to backlight the couch, create some more separation from the wall. And for them, we set 2 lights, 2 of them up top and on the sides, 1 underneath the table set to red, and that red one underneath the table is pulsating. The blue are constant, the 2 red behind are constant, and you know, that's how we kind of created this final scene look and setup. Those are all the main looks and setups that we had and did. What I really love about these lights is they're just so versatile. You can move so quick and efficiently on set, and they're just extremely customizable too. You know, not only can they do so many different things, but you can customize them to pulse at the same time or different times, to pulse different colors, to one be constant, to one pulsing, to one strobing, and again, all different colors. Like, there's just so much potential and there's just so many possibilities of what you can do with the Astera lights. And again, this was a heavily performance-driven video, right? So like, there's no storyline or an extensive amount of B-roll content that we have to capture. So this was really about just having fun. We were able to really take our time and dial in the lighting here. And then from there, you know, again, it was just making sure the energy and the atmosphere is what we need it to be. So hyping up our talent, hyping up Woe, and then, you know, just rocking, you know, doing my thing, rocking on the camera. I think that's about it for this week's cinematography breakdown. If there's anything I missed, you got any questions, comments, or concerns, please drop them below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate the love and support, and I'll see y'all in the next one.